Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Guy says he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Yes, it does come with the fun Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more, or click the URL in the video description below. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Nissan wanting to be an equal to Honda in the merger or no deal at all, even though they're a fraction of the size and probably 1/100th of the reliability rating. It is actually astonishing that Nissan still exists after all these years. Now, I don't really I read a book a month, but I don't really have a book club, so to say. Let me know if you think I should. But two books I read in 2024 that kind of exemplify this situation would be Shift by Carlos Fong, or Phone is how you're supposed to pronounce it, where he did successfully turn around Nissan when they were on the brink of bankruptcy. They have a long history of making one or two really cool, good cars, and the rest mediocre, rudimentary, and usually, as the youth would say, problematic. Talking about those CVT transmissions from hell. There's a reason the Altimas have BAE energy, but usually can't go more than 10 feet. Now, the antithesis of that would be Driving Honda, one of my favorite books of 2024 by Jeffrey Rothbender. Talks about Shichiro Honda and his founding of the company and how they've grown from making good old cylinder pistons, or piston rings specifically, to motorcycles, to cars, and beyond, with a couple, faux pas and, a couple of bad things throughout the years. Don't get me wrong, no company is perfect. Shoot, even Toyota has recalls these days. But the fact that Nissan, who again is losing market share time and time again, they want to be equal to Honda is comical to say the least. Now, this is thanks to Ronan, who's a writer over at thedrive.com, in which he says, quote, Nissan wants a merger of equals with Honda or no deal. Honda, who's valued nearly 5 times more than Nissan, wanted to turn its rival into a subsidiary. Now Nissan has reportedly scrapped the union altogether, which I can only think, thank God, and hopefully, because, again, I love my good old 2018 Honda Civic Si. I mean, I love Honda partially because they're the #1 stick shift manufacturer on the planet in regards to units sold. Spoiler alert, Honda Civic for the win. But they're known for bulletproof reliability. They're not the fastest cars on the market. They're not the fanciest. You don't have 12 cows worth of leather in the seats and the upholstery, but they're darn near bulletproof and moderately stylish. I wish they made more coupes and fun colors like my green Honda, but I partially digress. Nissan, coming from the automotive community years ago, Nissan is known for Nissan Credit, which is known for giving you credit for a vehicle if you have a modicum of a pulse. Like if you go to a Nissan dealership and your heart beats more than twice per minute, they'll give you a loan for a car. You'll walk out with that Altima. You probably won't walk out happy because it's an Altima, but nevertheless, you will walk out with a new car with a warranty, which is something. But yeah, the fact that Nissan thinks, oh yeah, we want to be equals with Honda. Where does Nissan really excel? Not really crossovers or SUVs, which, while I don't like, are paramount and very important for the automotive community. That's where most of your profits come from. Crossovers, SUVs, and trucks. Nissan killed the GTR, which I think is foolish because that was your really cool Halo car, although it's only an automatic transmission, so disappointing. But they still have the Nissan Z, which allegedly passed production of the Supra, though I've only seen like 1 or 2 Nissan Zs on the road in like 2 years. But they allegedly are out there and outselling the Supra, allegedly. Now, going to the article, they say, quote, the much hyped merger talks between Honda and Nissan are reportedly on the brink of collapse. Oh no. The two Japanese rivals predicted that they could instantly form the world's 3rd largest car maker by joining forces. Yeah, largest by volume, not by quality. But a recent report claims Nissan is planning to end the negotiations after learning that Honda is interested in a full-over takeover rather than a friendly tie-up that places both companies in equal footing, which, again, Nissan isn't coming from a position of power. They're the ones that are losing market share. There's such, especially in North America, again, the United States is one of the most important markets. California alone is the 10th largest automotive market on the planet, which is astronomical. That's why so many companies, unfortunately, acquiesce to their BS requirements to be in that state. But yeah, now they say, quote, citing anonymous sources, Reuters wrote that, quote, growing differences on both sides have complicated the talks, and the differences may be too big to overcome. One of its sources said that a major point of contention is how both automakers see the partnership. Honda allegedly asked Nissan to become a subsidiary, which was a, quote, departure from the original spirit of the discussions, and the idea set off a 5-alarm panic in Yakinoma, which, not purposely trying to mispronounce that if I am. They say Nissan's board members will meet, quote, in the near future to decide whether to continue the talks, according to Reuters, but it's not Honda. But if it's not Honda, it's likely to have to be someone else. Because again, they're so desperate, they have to sell it to someone, basically. Which, unfortunately, again, great book by, what's it, Carlos Ghosn? I'm trying to see who's the specific author of Shift. Let me see here, really quick. Carlos Ghosn is actually how you pronounce it. Unfortunately, I think it might be an autobiography, maybe. But nevertheless, in this book, which again took place a couple decades ago, he did revive the company with the most coolest thing at the time would be bringing back the Z, which at the time was just the 350Z, which is awesome. He brought back the company, but one of the biggest issues was high cost, low quality, which they fixed temporarily, but later with the CVT transmissions, lost all semblance of any reliability rating by anyone with modicum of intelligence. Though again, still cheap Japanese car, and more reliable than American cars. Granted, that bar is pretty darn low these days. Now they say, quote, Nissan is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Its sales are falling in key markets, and it's in serious debt. And its problems will be compounded with tariffs that the Trump administration has threatened to impose on Mexico manufactured goods. Walking away from Honda could very well give Foxconn an opening to persuade a hostile takeover again, as reported late last year. At this time, Nissan might not have a more attractive offer to hold off the Taiwanese tech giant. As for Honda, it has a market value that's nearly 5 times larger than Nissan's, which might be why it holds enough to reportedly flex its corporate muscles. And while Nissan claims to have a turnaround plan, this isn't supposed to be a comedy part of the show, but the stuff they're writing here is funny. A Nissan turnaround plan? Yeah. Sources say Honda has been worried about the progress being made. Yeah, because rudimentary progress, to say the least. Unsurprisingly, shares of Honda have increased by 8% on the Tokyo Stock Exchange by the end of trading, while Nissan's slid by 4%. Ouch. They see neither company has officially commented on the report or how the merger talks are progressing, but they previously said that they would provide an update in mid-February. We can't help wonder if Mitsubishi, which seemingly left out of negotiations, received a similar offer to Nissan's, which they didn't like, which, yeah, Mitsubishi, God bless them, I have no idea how they're still in business. They used to make iconic vehicles. I mean, yes, there's a little nostalgia with the Fast and Furious series, but the Eclipse, fun little four-banger with a stick shift. I mean, the Lancer Evo, thing of legend. But now they make anemic, boring crossover SUVs that, more importantly, don't sell. I know there's a reason every company makes crossovers, SUVs, and trucks. Very profitable, very important for the market. I understand. But I'm a little bit of a gearhead, so I want things with 3 pedals and make me smile, personally. But, I mean, Mitsubishi, they're only known for the Mirage, which I will credit them from an engineering manufacturing perspective to make a new car under $20,000, and it got 40 plus mile per gallon, was not a hybrid. It had 3 cylinders of glory. It allegedly got to 0 to 60 in before you die. But for the bang for your buck with a new warranty, it was a really compelling car. A lot of people make fun of it because, it handles like crap. It looks rudimentary and pathetic. But again, I'll give them some credit. The Mitsubishi Mirage was a good thing for the segment they were going after. Unfortunately, they're getting rid of that car. I mean, with dealer discounts, you're getting a new car for 15 grand in like 2022 and 2023. That's insane. That's really, that's so rare. Only 2 to 3 other, actually, I think only one other car had that capability. I think it's a Nissan, is it the Versa or the Sentra? Something to that effect. But now Mitsubishi, I don't know who is buying. I have many friends. I don't know anyone who has a Mitsubishi. I know, like, I at least have one friend of most major car companies, or they have one. But let me know in the comments. Do you know anyone who has a Mitsubishi in 2025? Lord knows I don't. But yeah, we'll see if these negotiations break down. But again, Nissan is desperate. And again, it's a very tangled situation. They're also entangled with Renault, which is entangled with the French government, with the government owning parts of it. So it's a very sticky situation. So they're saying some of those folks might not agree with these things, and maybe they're pushing things or pushing for different directions behind the scene. But I mean, they've had so many issues for so many years at Nissan. If I was in charge of Honda, I would ask, what is a compelling business reason to buy them? again, Honda is worried about losing market share with EVs. That's why they're putting so much research and development into it, which personally I think is a detriment to the brand. Time shall tell. But I know Honda is worried about losing some market share. But why buy Nissan? What's the compelling of the whole portfolio? You have the Z, which has some enthusiasm. People will buy that. That's good to get brand awareness, but it's a very low volume units being sold. It's a sports car, understandably. But I mean, what is Nissan known for today? You have the Altima, which again sold pretty good for a sedan. Again, that's an important part of the market, but not as profitable as the crossovers, EVs, or SUVs and trucks. And that's where Nissan really struggles. Trucks are very hard to get into, especially if they have the lifted trucks that are 12 feet off the ground, pun intended. But in terms of the trucks market being dominated by the big three and Toyota, it's hard to get in that market. That's why Nissan has been there. I'll give them credit. They've got a good V8. I have a friend with that. He likes it. But they never really got a big majority or a really significant portion of the sales in North America for trucks, which is why I suspect they're discontinuing the Titan. But yeah, I think it's kind of comical. Nissan wants to negotiate, be like, hey, we're going to be equals. It's like, why? But let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.